Hiya, I'm Jasper, and welcome to your video review for Resident Evil 5 Retribution. So, as always, I'm going to give you the good, the bad, and the furry. To start off with the furry, it's a Resident Evil zombie movie, so there's a variety of zombies and a variety of zombie styles, so, yeah, but on that, not really anything else. So, moving on to the good, the bad. So, this movie, in my opinion, has probably the best opening, sequence ever. It's at least in the top 5, maybe top 10, but it's amazing. I love the opening sequence of this because the music that they have going along with it is just absolutely fantastic, and I love it's just so perfectly timed, and I love that how they do it in reverse. But the music is fantastic, the action is fantastic. I love that they did it in a reverse slow mo. It's such a unique thing that I haven't seen other movies do, and I think that it still holds up and it's fantastic. And what I especially love is that then she gives her opening narration, which is a good opening narration, and then they show that whole sequence at real time in forward motion, so you can just really appreciate what can go into your average action sequence. Is like in reverse and slow mo, that shit took an entire song's worth. And then in real time, going forward, it's like 10 seconds or something. So action movies can take a lot to film, and I like that. I like how they did that. Also, now, now she has gone full dark hair in this one, and so have her clones. So, but at the end of the third one, her clones had blonde hair. So, what is it? You just think we're not going to remember that? Like, come on. They never explained it. Why isn't it anymore? Whatever. Also, I do like that now the regular zombies run. I think that that's neat. It makes for higher speed action, a little bit more danger, and a little bit more explanation for like them coming out of nowhere and whatnot. And I promise you it makes sense. I promise you it makes sense. But I do really like that they found a way to bring back Michelle Rodriguez, Oded Fair, and Discount Lance Reddick. So I'm so glad to see all of those guys back in this movie because I really like all of them, and I like the reason that they did to bring them in. I will say that the most unbelievable part of this whole movie is that she gets that outfit on in less than 1 minute. I don't care what universe you're in, or how fast or how cool she is supposed to be. She is not like the Flash, and there is no way that she got all them buckles buckled in under a minute. It's a badass outfit, but nope, that is the most unbelievable thing in this whole movie. And speaking of unbelievable things, this movie does come up with a reason for the big axe guys. And it actually comes up with, I think that this movie does such a good job of explaining why the T-virus and why the T-virus reacts differently in some things and what other, all of the weird zombies that we've been seeing in the other movies. I think they come up with a very good explanation for it. And the stinger that they had in the last one, I think they do a good job of explaining it here and making it make sense and making it work. And I like that this movie is kind of, it seemed like it's a way that to really bring in the video game thing, because it has Ada Wong and whoever the other guy is I don't know. So it has other video game characters that I kind of vaguely remember. I'm like, that's a video game person. So I like that they bring in those characters while meshing it with this Alice universe and bring it together, and then also just give it an opportunity for badass fight scenes. I like the reason that they came up with and the thing that they did to make having all of these individual really badass fight scenes all connect. It could have been really dumb, like the fourth movie, but I think that what they came up with for this one to make, this environment make sense with this environment, make sense with this environment, to have them doing this journey and all these different kind of tonal shifts a little bit and power shifts, I think it all makes sense, and I really enjoyed that. And there's a lot of badass slow-mo, like the beginning, but also in other fight scenes, there's badass slow-mo in this, and the fight scenes in general, I think, are properly shot. So I enjoyed that. The one thing that I do think is a bit of a problem, and you could kind of predict that this was going to be a problem, but from, I don't know, I guess maybe the third one? So in the third one, you see the clones. And then in this one, you find out that Wesker has a clone, because Wesker's back, and he's, I don't know, still evil-ish. So Wesker's back, and you're like, oh, okay, I killed your clone, so you're here. So, sure, Wesker has a clone, because Alice had hundreds of clones in the third one. But the problem with this whole cloning thing is that now no one can ever stay dead. Or you don't think that anyone will ever stay dead. And you might be figuring out how they managed to fit some of those other fun actors from the past ones in this one now that I've mentioned the cloning thing. But it presents the same problem, in my opinion, as a multiverse. Is that once you introduce a multiverse, it doesn't really matter what happens to your characters because there's a multiverse version of them. So you can bring them back an infinite number of times or go see them in another universe and they're still alive and happy. So their death didn't really matter because they're still alive and happy in multiple other universes. The only movie that I think did a really good job of a multiverse, I mean, yeah, Endgame, it doesn't introduce a multiverse. It did like a time travel thing, in my opinion. So it says that, that other universe dissolved. So they didn't so much do multiverse yet in that one. So, of course, that one was an amazing movie. Amazing, like, 2 movies and all that before that. But the one with Jet Li, that one did a good job of making a multiverse but still have deaths matter. But in much of the media nowadays, multiverses have kind of cheapened and made a death and action less meaningful because, okay, there's just another multiverse later on. I do like some multiverse movies, like, Everything Everywhere All at Once, excellent example. So I'm not saying they're bad, but they're oftentimes overused, and they oftentimes create the problem of removing the stakes. Same thing with these clones in this movie, is that now that Wesker's been cloned, or can be cloned, you're like, okay, well, it doesn't really matter how many times we kill Wesker, because I can always bring him back, right? Because he's a clone, or has clones of him. So now there's not that satisfaction of getting to kill him, because, there's probably another clone somewhere. But anywho, one other thing that bugged me is Ada Wong's voice. I don't know if that actress did the voice of the character in the video game, or if they dubbed her with the voice of the actress who did the video game voice, and so maybe that actress has a different voice, or what. But she has such a weirdly distracting cadence to her voice, and maybe that's how it was in the video game. I don't know. Haven't played, still not gonna, but it just is a very distracting way that however, her cadence of her words, very weird, very distracting, very stilted. I'm not saying that, like, the actress is a bad performer, because, she's got good facial expressions and whatnot to make things match, but, like, it's just weird. It's weird. It sounds weird. The cadence is weird. I don't know. So, yeah, this movie, I think, is a fun time because it acknowledges some of the shtick and some of the ridiculousness that this series has come to, and I think it leans into it enough to be like, hey, we're going to use this to have just badass sequence here, badass sequence here, badass sequence here, and badass sequence here, etc., and have a way to just connect those dots in a way that works for this, because we want to have those badass fight sequences. And I'm totally here for it. So this one is either my first or second favorite after Extinction. So the third one and the fifth one are kind of neck and neck for my favorite for just how good the slow-mo and the fight scenes are in this one. But yeah, fantastic movie. Do highly recommend. That's all I have for this one. Thanks for coming. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you at the next one. Bye.